Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Lead Nudge. I am Silvia, your inclusive leadership mentor. Let me start this week by sharing a bit of a story. A manager that I have been mentoring for quite some time came to me last week and she said that she didn't remember the last time that she finished a day feeling proud and with a sense of achievement of what she got to do. It surprised me because we've been talking for a while and I know how good she is at what she does. So this was not about actual accomplishments. It was around her being stuck in a loop in between emails, in between multiple Slack and multiple, I have a quick question for you. Do you have time? Do you have 5 minutes for me? Messages. What she was feeling is that she was being pulled from different directions all the time. What that meant is that by 5, her brain was fried because she had been context switching for the entire time that she has been working. And what that meant is that real priorities, the ones that meant that she was being held accountable in her objectives, they were still waiting. And her sense of achievement, even though that she was feeling she was helping her team members, she didn't feel that she was actually achieving something. So she came to me with a question about time management and how to manage her time better. But we turned the conversation, and instead of talking about time management, which I gave her a couple tips, we realized that it was not about time management. She was actually doing pretty well in the way that she managed her time. It was about attention overload, how she was dividing herself very thin across multiple different stakeholders, across multiple different team members, and multiple initiatives as well. So it got me thinking about this study from McKinsey, if I recall correctly, that talk about how the average employee spends around 28% of their week just reading emails. Can you imagine spending almost 1/3 of your day, almost 1/3 of your effort just on emails? That's quite a lot, because even though we might make progress by using this tool, this is not the actual work. This is just part of the process to get the work done. And what's more interesting is that part of that study showed that knowledge workers actually lose about 8 to 10 hours a week switching between different tasks and between different contexts. So it's not a surprise. So when we think about these numbers, it's not a surprise that then we're feeling very stretched very thin. So let's take a step back, because this talks a lot about how we are busy all the time. And being busy is not the same as being effective. It's not the same as getting things done. We can have our agendas full for the entire day, and at the end of the day get the feeling that day could have not happened and the same would have been achieved. That's not really nice, right? Because if we think from the perspective of what fuels us as human beings, we get energy and we get drive from the sense of being relevant. And relevancy is achieved when we get something done, when we know that we are contributing towards something bigger than us, whether that is an objective from the company, whether that is building a team, so on and so forth. But if we're constantly just doing tiny bits of multiple different things, that means that we are spreading ourselves very thin. And as leaders, our greatest asset is not the time. This is maybe an unpopular opinion. It's our attention. And if our attention is fracture or fraction, that means that the way that we get to have impact will be also just small. So here is a bit of a challenge for this week. I want you to schedule 2 1-hour blocks for focus time. Whether that is on a Friday morning, whether that is on a Friday afternoon, or the time that works for you, the task here is to put them in your calendar as if they are real meetings. Turn off the notifications. If you get another invite across that time, that is important. That is a time for you to focus. That's a time for you to close your inbox, to close your Slack, and that's time for the work that actually moves things forward. Whether that is, like getting some reports done, whether that is strategic thinking, whether that is planning or roadmap planning, you would know best based on your role. And the most important thing about this is that as a leader, the more that you get to practice this, you can also mirror and role model that behavior for your team, making them also more effective. So the task here is it's not about the hour or how you do it. It's about protecting your focus and to make sure that you're intentional about it. All the best. Good luck. Start by taking action this week. Remember to lead as you are with courage, inclusion, and heart, you all.